through a series of events and relationships, some doors have begun to open where I can not only be a financial supporter of different ministries, but also be involved on a personal level, which is a whole different level of experience when you're not only serving as a funder, but also working side by side with the folks who are on the front line, which is a whole different dimension of ministry. And through all this, even as a businessman, I'm finding that I can be a lot more involved in changing lives.
Well, I think the Lord started working in my life probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I had been a church-going person, but I hadn't given Jesus the throne of my heart. And at that time, my life really started falling apart. I had marriage problems, things weren't going at work. Pretty much my life was heading in a downward spiral. It wasn't until I was completely at the bottom. I had been hospitalized for a suicide attempt. I was facing prison for some wrong that I had done. And it was at that time that in that misery, God reached out to me. I wasn't crying out for help. I wasn't seeking God. He sought me out. And He sent a family friend to visit me. And he boldly shared with me at that time, I still remember years later, that I needed to get right with God and I needed to take responsibility for the wrong that I had done and those that I'd harmed, and to turn my life over to Him. Through the course of the next couple of months, I found that God has shown me that I can't live the Christian life, that He needs to live it through me. And so I trusted Him through some very difficult times, through my incarceration, my divorce, being away from my family, losing my career. I lost everything. But what I had, Jesus Christ, was worth more than everything that I had lost. But I have to tell you, even during those years, I still worried about the future. I worried about my release. What was going to happen to me when I got out? I had some severe challenges waiting for me. Challenges of obstacles from society, from the system. There were barriers that I felt for employment, for housing, and just hope that really seemed to me almost insurmountable. And I prayed and I asked God to show me how He was going to help me be able to get even my most basic needs met. When Tim Terry came into the institution, when I shook his hand, I said, "Tim, you are an answer to prayer." And little did I know how much that would be, because through the course of the inside component of JumpStart, which is a 40-week intensive discipleship program based on the purpose-driven life, I found that for me, it was like Miracle Grow for my soul. I thought after 3 years of living for Christ, pouring myself into the Word of God, that I was really where I thought I needed to be as a believer, but I found I still fell short in so many ways. And I had kind of set my expectations only so high, but God has shown me that He can do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or imagine. And I found that through JumpStart, He had stretched me in ways that I never could have imagined. Since transitioning from prison into JumpStart, I got connected with a great church family, Hope Point Community Church, that sponsors JumpStart. And there I got to meet some great believers. I got connected with some ministry opportunities and continued to grow. And I see that that's one of the integral functions that JumpStart helped me, was helping me bridge that gap between prison, where I had fellowship, I had accountability, I had spiritual leadership, and moving into an area where I had no connections, and helping make those connections in the community. And in fact, I love Spartanburg so much that I ended up putting down roots here. I bought a house in October, and I have JumpStart to thank for that as well. One of the members of the board, Chuck Fields, his wife is a realtor, and she did a fantastic job along with those at New Penn Financial to help me get a house, which really I didn't even think I was going to be able to get. I mean, every step along the way, it seemed like I'm not going to get it, not going to get it. And then God surprised me at the end, I mean, at the very end, and I was able to qualify and move into my own house within just a little over a year after prison, which I never would have dreamed that God would have been able to bless me in such a tremendous way. JumpStart, Sun Surveillance, Hope Point Community Church, the journey where I'm at now presently, all have been used by God tremendously to affect the changes that God wanted to bring about in my life, and that He's still doing in my life.
It's because of the love and generosity of God's people such as yourselves that ministries like JumpStart and others can help change the lives of men and women for eternity.